A wonderful evening to you here on this Tuesday night. Hey, I'm Eric Weber. You're watching Midnight Movie Talk as we get right into it and talk about the big news of the day. And, of course, it is Maverick. Top Gun Maverick has the Memorial Day record. Let's look at the box office mojo. I think they do a great job of just giving us the numbers, the pure numbers that we need to digest when we look at this film. And we roll down here, and we're going to go down to the Friday number, which was 52 million. Obviously, huge, great. That includes that Thursday night, and I believe those Tuesday screenings as well. Those Tuesday fan screenings, a lot of studios are really taking advantage of those Tuesday screenings. It's just extra cash, and it's a great way to get people to pay a premium to see the film first. So when you pay $30 for a ticket, but you get to see it, 2 days before everybody else, and there's a lot of cachet to that. Certainly on film Twitter, right? It's like, I already saw it. It's old news. I already saw Maverick. I already saw the Batman. I already saw Strange. Although Marvel didn't do that yet. I think they should. They should do that for Thor. All right, let's go to it. So Saturday, look at that. 38 million, and it's only a 27% drop. But look at Sunday and Monday. This is insane. This is what word of mouth gets you. This is what an A+ cinema score does. Look at that drop. 3.5%. And then yesterday, on Memorial Day, down only roughly 8%. That's unheard of. And the reason you're getting those holds is, again, it's all about word of mouth. When word of mouth is as strong as it is for this film, Top Gun Maverick, you are looking at a situation where people are seeing the movie, running out of the theater, texting, calling, announcing to the universe that you need to see Top Gun Maverick. And that doesn't happen very often in the world of cinema. And that's what this film has going for it. So much goodwill, and it's really captured the zeitgeist, as we talked about over the last several days when we looked at this film, and I saw it 2.5, 3 weeks ago now, and I knew when I saw it that this would be a film that was beloved by the average moviegoer, and it's proven true. And you have a number here of $160 million opening. That is for the 4 days. $160.5 million worldwide. $300 million after 4 days, which is again another huge win for Paramount, who have done so well this year with Scream, Jackass Forever, The Lost City, Sonic 2, Maverick. Paramount has it going on. They know what they're doing down there. They are making quality films that the average moviegoer likes. All of those films I just mentioned are very big pie films, right? You're looking at a pie of who's going to go see, the movie-going pie of people that will see a film. It's huge for Paramount Films. Obviously, conversely, something like Crimes of the Future, which opens on Friday, which, oh, man, I do not like Crimes of the Future. I like it slightly more than Men. But it's a film that's for a very, very, very small slice of the pie. This is not the case with Paramount. They have just had win after win after win in 2022. So, again, we have a new record holder, and it speaks to the theatrical business booming right now, and it's really back to where it was in 2019. We've said it so many times here. I called it months and months ago that we are entering a phase where it is no longer about pandemic records. It's done, okay? That phase of our existence is going away, whether they want it to or not. I'll let you imagine who that is. People have moved on. They're going to movies. They're going to see Maverick. They're going to see Thor. They're going to see Dominion in a few weeks. So let's talk about Maverick as an Oscars contender. And I think that it's never too early to do this. Okay, you guys know I run Awards Ace. It is basically a gathering point for all of you who want to see and track the films that I think are in contention for Oscars 2023. Let me pull it up right now, and you can have a look, and we'll go over what I see. Wrong tab. Let me get to the right tab here. And what you basically have with Awards Ace is just the nuts and bolts, the basics of what you need. The hits, runs, and errors without too much extra noise. You're just going to get what's going on. Is this film in the running for... Does Eric think that these are films that could have an Oscars future? Let's look. So I pull it up. You guys see it here. I have Tom Cruise right there under Best Actor contenders. Why? For so many reasons, but really, you need a moment at least one major moment to be a contender in any category. Obviously, for actress and actor, you're going to look for more moments than you would for supporting, okay? But as we look at Cruise, you guys know, you've seen Maverick by now. If you haven't, you need to go see it. It's Val Kilmer. It's Tom Cruise. It's the moment where he says he can't move on, okay? If you haven't seen it, I'm not going to mention anything else. I'm just going to say that's the moment. That's the Oscars moment. That's when Tom Cruise became a Best Actor contender. When that moment hits, it just, boom, there it is. It's Tom Cruise at a different level that we have not seen. Okay, you go back to Magnolia. I love Tom Cruise in Magnolia. Obviously, Collateral. And these are two interesting, really, outside-the-box performances by Tom Cruise. And in this one, it's more obviously inside the box. But this is a moment of humanity and of great emotion that I have not seen from this man, and it's in a film that people love. Therefore, Tom Cruise is absolutely a contender for Best Actor. No question about that. So as I pop that up, let's look at some people that we have in the mix. I've got Tom Cruise there. Obviously, you go down, you got Leo DiCaprio. If he gets slotted lead for Killers of the Flower Moon, that is Apple's huge film coming out later this fall. Color Purple will be a big film for Warner Brothers. Coleman Domingo, who was so good in Zola. You've got him there. Go through, you've got Adam Driver in White Noise. You've got Hanks in Asteroid City. You know, the interesting one is going to be, will the latest by our good friend David Fincher, will this film get in or not? That's going to be really interesting to see. But I think we start here with Cruise. At Best Actor, absolute contender. Let me pull up my tweet of what I think we have going here for this film as an awards contender, more specifically, an Oscars contender. And when you look again at what is successful at the Oscars, it's generally films that are beloved, widely liked by a very wide audience, because Oscars voters are just like the average moviegoer. Yes, they're more industry-driven. They're actors, they're producers, they're directors. Yes, I get that. But still, at the end of the day, you want to have a film that is accessible, broadly accessible to a wide swath of your voting eligible voters. So look at what we just had win Best Picture. Coda, widely accessible, right? Easy to follow along. I would say that film is too accessible. I would say it's more of a Lifetime film than it is a Best Picture, but that's a whole nother, night to do that. We already did that, actually, so we won't do that. But Maverick is a widely viewed, very accessible film, and people love it. It's going to do so well. And as you look at this, these are the things I have for lock, okay? You've got Song. You've got Hold My Hand, which I believe will win. I said this when I came out of the film. It will win Best Original Song at Oscars 2023. Not just get a nomination, it'll win, okay? Sound is a lock. That is, they combine the sound category, sound is in. These are things that I think should be. Film editing. The editing on Top Gun Maverick is superb. I've seen it now 2.5 times. I watched it half a time last night, and I'm going to see it again, but I actually said, I'm going to go home. I'm going to cut out right when Tom Cruise is going up to spend the night with, that scene. Visual effects. I think, listen, this is a film that you're not going to see the visual effects. You don't think of them being there, but they are. And what happens is they're going to do what they call a bake-off, and they actually show the original scene, right? And then they show what the visual effects look like. You know what's really interesting, and a lot of you don't know this, and these are the stories that you learn from going out during award season here in Los Angeles and talking to people. The movie Roma, you don't even know that a ton of that film is visual effects. I was at a party, and one of the gentlemen who worked on the visual effects of that film showed me original scene and then showed me visual effects. It was all added. Like, so much of the film is added in visual effects. Netflix didn't want people to know that about Roma. That's what you're going to see here with Top Gun Maverick. These are things that you think are organic, yet are absolutely visual effects. Therefore, it will be a contender in visual effects, even though it's not an obvious one. You're saying to yourself, well, it's not Strange or it's not Dominion, right? It's not these films that are just all visual effects, but it's there. It will be in contention. I think adapted screenplay without question. Now, I had someone ask me today, why is it adapted? This is something that maybe some people do not know. I'll explain it very quickly. It's easy. It's always going to go adapted if the film is a sequel, particularly if you're talking about characters that originated somewhere else. If the characters in your film originated in a film before or obviously from a novel, then it is adapted. So this is adapted screenplay. I think the screenplay is absolutely strong enough. So screenplay should be there as well, or at least in the mix. Picture, yes, best picture, the biggest prize. This film is going to continue to do business weekend after weekend after weekend. Again, the biggest challenge for Paramount is going to be bringing this film back around at the end of the year when there's new films. And we'll discuss that in the comments. I want you guys to jump in, and we can definitely drill down on that. Best actor, I mentioned with Cruise. Cinematography, great. I mean, this cinematography, look at that opening scene where he's going Mach 10. A lot of those shots are just beautiful, stunning shots by Kaczynski, and I'm not sure who did the cinematography. I should know this by now. Really strong. And then we go to director on a possibility outside. This is more like really outside, right? Kaczynski for director. Not saying he doesn't deserve it. I'm just saying it gets a little bit harder the further we go down this list to land a nomination. And then for supporting, I have Ham. Now, some people said, well, it's Miles Teller. Get into it with the comments with me. You can tell me if you think I'm right or wrong. I think it's Ham as the number one supporting candidate if you're going by actor, okay? Val Kilmer would be 2, Miles Teller would be 3. Interesting to see what Paramount does. I'm not saying anybody's going to land. I'm just saying if you're going to push, who are they going to lean on? Which one of those 3 will be their pick? I'm going to guess it's Teller, but if they're smart, they'd probably go Kilmer, even though I know it's a short scene, and people have been nominated and have won for very short scenes, okay? So that is it, but it's so memorable, and it's Val Kilmer and everything that we know with the documentary that came out last year, and everyone's very much aware of this man and the struggles he's going through, and the emotional moment again with Tom Cruise in that scene. It's unforgettable. So I think that's there as well. And so that's what I really look at the landscape of how this film fits into the Oscars. It's absolutely going to be a contender. The toughest thing for Paramount is going to be to bring this film back around and get the momentum going again at the end of the year, because we're in June. Tomorrow's June. So when we get to June, we're talking about 6-7 months from now that you're really talking about building momentum again, and that's going to be a challenge. I say this over and over. I'm saying it again because it's perfect to say. It works so well. Paramount knows exactly how this works. They did it with Rocket Man. They messed that up. They released it too early. This is different. Maverick is not Rocket Man. It's a bigger film than Rocket Man. So I think Maverick will be okay because it's going to have way more box office, okay? Like 10, 15, 20 times more box office. And at that point, it's a bigger film, obviously, than Rocket Man, even though I really do admire Rocket Man. I think Taron Egerton was absolutely screwed over when it comes to Best Actor. But it's the same situation Paramount's aware of, so they learned some things from Rocket Man. And they're going to impart some of that onto what they do here with Maverick coming up in a few months. As we talk about that, let's just quickly talk about the Batman in chances for the Oscars. We did this a couple months ago, but because they're both populist films, very obviously 2 of the biggest box office hits of the year thus far, and I think Batman has a shot as well. Reeves for director, outside, I get it. Cinematography, Greg Fraser, cinematography, because of what just happened with Dune and winning, he's going to be right there. I think cinematography is probably going to get in for Batman. And then you're talking about sound, you're talking about visual effects. Again, not a effects-heavy film, but they're there, so Batman's there as well. Those are the ones that pop out to me right off the bat. That's going to be a harder situation for Warner Brothers than Maverick will be for Paramount. So that's the contrast to compare those 2 when it comes to the Oscars. I know we're so far away, but listen, man, at the end of the day, it'll be here before you know it. And there's going to be lots of other films that we have to talk about, but at the end of the day, Maverick will be a contender. I know it. This is our random FYC item of the night. I love Cold War. If you have not seen Cold War, Pavel, what a direction effort on this. And Lucas Zoll, the cinematography on Cold War. This is a 45. This is a vinyl 45 of 2 of the songs from the film. If you've not seen Cold War, you need to go back and seek this film out. Black and white, up for Best International Feature, and it lost to Roma. That was 2018. 2019. So there it is. That's the random FYC item of the night. I should really crack this open. I've got a record player around here somewhere, but I just like it sealed. It's kind of cool. All right, comment time. Let's get to it. Let's see what you guys have to say about Top Gun Maverick and Oscars hopes and or box office and or whatever you want to talk about here on this Tuesday. Again, thanks for watching here on Midnight Movie Talk. Let's get to it. Gone Girl, good evening to you. My friend loved the movie. Of course she did. We knew that. It was a guarantee. First thing she said to me as soon as the opening seconds happened, she's glad they kept the music. That first scene is just perfection, right? It's a ode to its predecessor from '86, and you instantly get the Top Gun theme, which is just unforgettable. Faltermeyer, I mean, was on fire. You go back, Axel F, Top Gun theme, did the Fletch theme. This is a guy that was so talented. I mean, back in the '80s, that man ruled, and I think that was brilliant. And then bleeding it right into Danger Zone, perfect. Really, just the perfect runway for this film. And then we have liftoff, and then the film just you're in a great mood. It's so important to establish that first initial interest in the film. You have to grab your audience, right? So if your film starts off slow, you're in trouble right off the bat. Top Gun Maverick does not have that. It has absolutely just swords. It hits Mach 10 right off the bat. Rob, good evening to you. A lot of repeat viewing also going on. Help give this legs, no question about it. I mean, again, if you look at the number, the drops are so low. I mean, the drop is 3.5% from Saturday to Sunday. That's virtually unheard of. And then you've got that -8, which is, again, just minimal, okay? Just as minimal as it gets for these drops. So that speaks to repeat viewing. Like me, I've seen it 2.5 times. I bought 2 tickets, okay? I saw it at the press screening, and I bought a ticket Thursday and one on Sunday night. So I've seen it now 2.5 times, and or Monday night, make that. But the point is that this film will have legs just because of that very reason. People are going out to see it multiple times, and again, it's got that A+ cinema score. Word of mouth is perfect. Perfect word of mouth. Gone Girl again. Sold out showing yesterday. My brother-in-law said his theater was sold out. Saw it in a small town. He saw it in Dallas. This is the thing, and a lot of people are saying it's doing well in the flyover states and the red states, and it's just doing well everywhere, period, okay? Let's not talk about red, blue. This is a film that works for everybody, okay? It is not a political statement. It works whether you are hard left, hard right. It's just a great film, okay? So it's selling out everywhere, from L.A. to Dayton to, Baton Rouge to Detroit to Dallas, right? All these places, and it's because the film is great. Everyone loves the film, except for Scott Mendelson. I don't know what he was doing. I talked to him about it. He's sticking to his guns. I still think he's so wrong. Jay, good evening to you. Top Gun Maverick, 3.5 Oscar nominations, over under. For sure, sound and song, right? That's 2. So when we get to 3, we're probably talking about film editing, and then we're talking about crews and cinematography. I'm going to say over. I'm going to go over, and I'm not going to lock in what I think sound and song are locked. And Lady Gaga's going to win for song. That's a done deal. Close it. So that's over. But everything else is in play. We'll have to see as we get closer. But right now I'm going to go over, Jay. Over on that. Gone Girl again. It was nice to see a film that isn't a CBM animation Star Wars that's selling out this big. Isn't that refreshing? Last time this happened, it would probably be Parasite, but Parasite wasn't as big as this, but we're talking a phenomenon, right? Parasite was one of those films that, again, crossed over into the awareness of everybody, the zeitgeist. This is bigger on the box office scale, but everyone was talking about Parasite. This is obviously bigger, I get it, but I'm saying the last time we had a film that was similar, if you go back to, let's see, I mean, obviously we know theaters were closed for basically the last 2 years, so we didn't have a whole lot of anything. You got to go back to Parasite. It's going to come to me. I'll think of something else, but it is refreshing. I think that's the beauty of it, is that we finally have a film that's not one of the things you just mentioned. Simone, good evening to you. Good to see you on Film Twitter night. That was fantastic last Thursday. Really fun. I'll watch Top Gun at least 2 more times. The film's for everyone. Yes, it is. Americans, anybody. We need it now, and I agree with that, too. It's the perfect film for right now. We've been through so much over the past 2 years, and this film gives you all the feels, and it makes you just proud to just, be a film fan. I mean, it just really has that feel that you just come out and you're refreshed, you're recharged, and you just want to go attack. I just love the film, the way it makes you feel. I love when films do that. Conversely, I don't mind if a film absolutely makes me feel like crap, like Up in the Air. Oh my God, Up in the Air. The ending of Up in the Air. Talk about, you feel like Garp right at the end. Obviously, you know what happens at Up in the Air. I have no problem with an ending like that either, but I probably would prefer to have an ending that soars off into the sunset. Nick, good evening to you. My locks right now, sound and song, no question. Cinematography, I think, is close, right? And then BP, I would actually put BP ahead of cinematography because, again, you have 10 films that are going to get in, and this will get a PGA nomination. I will almost guarantee that. So once that happens, it'll go over to picture, and then you're looking at that. And then cruise, I think, is the next. So I'd say sound, song, picture, cruise, cinematography, in that order, if I had to do it there. And I also put film editing in there. Editing for sure, because the film is so strong at that. Then again, it's not like they always get that right. I mean, the Oscars don't always get the film in the right category most of the time, but sometimes, no. Simone, again, yes, Best Actor. If Brad Pitt can win for Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, then Tom can win for Top Gun. You're right. I mean, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, though, is, of course, Tarantino, but at the same time, it is an accessible film, okay? I would agree with that. And I think that Tom, it's his time, and he is worthy, so I don't want to hear anything of like, this wasn't a Best Actor performance. Please don't do that. Don't say that. It makes you sound ignorant. Nick, that scene with Kilmer, yes, and the bed scene with Connolly are pure Oscar clips. Oh, yeah, absolutely. And Ham, I said that, right? So Ham is the one that pops for me of everybody who's in supporting. I think Barbero, the young girl's she's great, but I just don't think there's enough emotional moments for that. So Ham has to deliver some, granted, it's all hard ass, but at the end of the day, he had to be hard ass. And I think this is my favorite John Hamm performance in a film. The Town, yeah, I like The Town. I like him in that, but I think this is my favorite John Hamm performance that I've seen. Even though it's not a huge performance, I think he's great in what he has to do, and he does his job well, which ultimately means you are in the mix for a nomination for me. That'll be harder because, again, that's not a huge role, and that will get lost as we go on through the year. But I think he's there right now, and we just have to see what happens as the rest of the year shakes out. Gone Girl again. Maverick has a good shot at film editing. That's what I thought last night watching it again. Was the editing is so clean. It's so well. The pacing is just about perfect. And then you talk about Babylon. Killers of the Flower Moon is an Apple movie. Obviously, you know Scorsese. Babylon is also a Paramount film. It's Chazelle, and I've heard really great things about that coming out of test screenings. But you knew that. It's Damien Chazelle. It's going to be a good film. As such, Babylon will be interesting to see how Paramount deals with pushing that and also pushing Maverick, because their awards department's not the biggest. They're going to have to hire some people. Paramount, I'm right here. Literally, put me on the Top Gun Maverick campaign. I'll hook it up. I will make sure that you at least you'll get the 2 for sure. We'll get you 3 nominations minimum. Just get me on there. Superhero movies, good evening to you. I'd love it if Maverick wins Best Picture. It's such a cinematic experience. It has everything. It delivers all the feels. It delivers exactly what you want when you go to a movie, and therefore it should be a contender for Best Picture. If it won, wouldn't be surprised. We have to look at what else is out there. It's very early. We have a ton of stuff still to come. We have 6 more months of movies, right? June, July, August, September, October, November, December. All those months, it has to come out before the 31st. It has to at least debut in New York or LA, just like the old days, before January 1st. If it does, it qualifies. So we're looking at a bunch of films. So it's early, but I still think it's absolutely should be there. Aaliyah, good evening to you. I think Tom Cruise has a high chance to win because voters may see it as his chance, his turn, he's owed, all of that. And at the end of the day, you never know when he's going to come back in a performance that is worthy of that. You know, with Leo, you get it every performance. Okay, with Cruise, are we really going to be talking about Cruise in Mission Impossible 7 as a Best Actor? Probably not. So you have to look at, this is his window. This is his opportunity. He's been there for the better part of 4 decades, 5 decades. I mean, it's insane. The man has been going since losing it in like 82, 83. Obviously, Risky Business, all that, and even before that. But this is his time. And I think that's how it'll be viewed when we get closer to the actual Oscars. I know we're a long way away, but it's not crazy. It'll go by so fast. We'll be like, here we are. We're at the end of the year. Superhero movies. You've seen Maverick 3 times now. Just saw it in Screen X today. It's so rewatchable, isn't it? The only thing that makes the film a little less rewatchable for me is the runtime of 2:15. If this runtime is a little under 2, I think I could watch it a little bit more. I know that sounds like 15 minutes, but still, it's a little long for me in that rewatching it like 10 times. the reason I saw Firestarter 5 times, okay, I told it's a gag, okay, guys. The movie's not good. The Scorch Cat scene is riotous, but the movie's not good. The reason I watched it 5 times, it's 90 minutes. And I had A-list, which means it was free. And I went down and I was bored and there was nothing else to see. Literally nothing else in theaters. So Maverick is a little more of a challenge in the length, especially knowing everything that's coming. And the thing about Firestarter is, again, it plays as a comedy. So you're laughing at the film. If you haven't watched it, please do. So you can get high, do shrooms, do something nutty, and then watch Firestarter. It'd probably be an unforgettable experience at that point. Nick, good evening again. It's the Academy going to keep 10 slots. I believe that's the case. I got to check on that. Again, it's so far out. I'm going to assume that they are. And heavily consider TGM and Batman. What's the point of having 10 slots? I totally agree with you. Once you get to that 10 slots, you need to be putting it like No Way Home should have been in. No Way Home should have been that 10th film. That said, I'm super happy that Nightmare Alley was one of the 10. Nightmare Alley is one of the best films of last year. So it got in, so I'm okay. If it was something like random that got in that I was not happy with, different story. But I think we all know Nightmare Alley was like film number 10. That said, No Way Home is an Oscars film. I have no problem with it being there. We need to get out of this headspace of, oh, it's an awards film. It can't be an Oscars film. It's a populist, mainstream moviegoer movie. It's like, no, it's not. It can be both. Aaliyah, Babylon is also Paramount. Exactly. How are they going to balance the Oscar push? That's what I was just saying. Based on the scheduling, Paramount has initially focused on Babylon for Oscars. Of course they have, because they didn't know. They knew the film was good. They knew that Maverick is a strong film, very clearly. But that said, it's little things like this. I know you guys, listen, at the end of the day, I love pushing the needle, okay? So when I send out this tweet, and I sent it out earlier, and I'm not just doing, first of all, let me just get one thing straight. When I send this tweet out, I'm not looking for likes. I'm looking for a legitimate discussion about a film that should be in the Oscars 2023 contending race at the end of the year. It is strong enough. I don't want to hear it's not an awards film. That's why I send tweets like this, because we need to start the conversation. So if that's what it takes, these little things to start it going, people go, oh, look at Eric, he's going for likes, or he's doing this because he wants to. No, I'm not. I'm telling you right now, it's legit. Okay, I'm never going to send a tweet that I don't believe in. It's just like this, doing this show. I don't sit here and say that I love a film when I don't love it. Conversely, if I hate a film, you know it. I mean, I go off. Like Crimes of the Future, not a good film. Slightly better than Men, but a 3 out of 10? I'm going to put my tweet out tomorrow. My tight little, pithy little review on Crimes of the Future. 3 out of 10? No. But these are all things, again, when I send this tweet, it should be in the mix. So I'm glad. Hopefully it's a part of just a little, the cornerstone of getting this thing started. Because at the end of the day, you have to view it as an awards film. And if I can help do that, then I believe in it, then absolutely, that's the point of all this. Simone again, Tom Cruise at FYC screenings in the fall. Yeah, it really will. Regardless of what you think of Tom, people secretly admire him, and he's a movie star, right? If I get invited to an FYC event with Tom Cruise for Maverick, oh yeah, I'm going. I'm going. I don't expect to be able to talk to Tom, because I imagine that's going to be a whole process. But you'd be amazed at some of these FYC events. When you go, a lot of times the stars are just there walking around the party. I remember Gary Oldman during The Darkest Hour, which, by the way, is down here. You can't see. It's one of the screeners. It's all the way down here. When he won for Darkest Hour, one of the reasons Oldman won for Darkest Hour is because he went to countless FYC events where he just wandered through the crowd and talked to people. Very accessible. And that helped him win for Darkest Hour. If Tom Cruise does anything like that, Tom Cruise and Gary Oldman, I understand they're not the same level star. I mean, people know who Gary Oldman is. Tom Cruise is a different level. He's in the stratosphere as far as stars, along with Brad Pitt, name on and on and on. But I think that if Cruise does that, he has a shot, and I think he will, because he knows he wants to. I mean, who wouldn't want to win an Oscar, or at least be nominated? I mean, come on. He can say he doesn't, but you know he does. It's just human nature. You want to be recognized. Rob, again, Ham is good, but his role is very generic. I don't see it getting a nomination. I'm not suggesting there's layers. I'm just saying he has to play a hard ass. Okay, we know that, and that's the one note. But I think that he still has to be able to, those moments when I watch it. I've seen it 2.5 times now, and when I watch the film, I say he nailed those lines, okay? Now, I understand the range isn't there, but it's not everybody can do what he did there. He's not the only one. I think everyone, we said this when we had the initial reaction with you guys on Thursday when you finally got a chance to see it. Everyone in this film is on top of their game, okay? Every single actor, including John Hamm, including Barbaro, I believe is her name. Including Val Kilmer, obviously Tom Cruise, on and on. Miles Teller, I just don't know if I saw a moment where I go, Miles Teller, that's it. That said, Miles Teller kicks ass. Whiplash, hello. So I think everyone here is fantastic. Every single person. There we go. Nailed the role. You like Miles Teller's great. I mean, he's good. He's good. I just don't think it's not quite. Something's missing for me there. Not saying there's anything he could have done differently. I'm just saying I don't know if the moment was provided for him as much, but some of you might see it differently. Hamm brought gravitas, 100%. Generic admiral role in a film like this, yeah, I can see him getting a monologue with Cruise. And it's also, gravitas is absolutely the word, Simone. He just has the presence and the badassery that really works, and so that's why I've got him there. But we'll see. Again, I'm not saying that it's going to happen. I'm just saying let's put him on the radar. Let's put him on the radar. Superhero movies. The Batman deserves multiple Oscars. The artistry, I couldn't agree more. I mean, listen, you look at Matt Reeves, and you're talking about one of the preeminent directors finally recognized for being as such, for being a guy who deserves attention and did all the way back to Let Me In. Let Me In was 2007 or 8. I saw that film in Florida, and I just had no expectations. I go, let me go see this film. I was in Orlando, Florida at the time, and I went in, and I go, oh, my God. You know what's interesting? Let Me In is one of the films when I've been doing this for about 15 years, okay? Real film criticism, film journalism, and Let Me In was one of the films that really turned me into kind of the connoisseur of cinephilic films that I've turned out to be. That film is so perfect and so artistically on point that it really just opened my eyes at that point. I go, oh my God, this guy, this Matt Reeves, and he did Cloverfield too. But when you watch Let Me In, you go, that is a director. And finally we're talking about that, and it's the same stuff that you see with the Batman. So I absolutely agree with you. The Batman may get nominated for cinematography. What film will be the front runner in the category? That's going to be interesting to see. Got to look at my list. Let me go through. Let's pull up Awards Ace. Let me pull it up and look here. 1 second. Let me get the right tab. So I think that you're going to look at Killers of the Flower Moon, right? That's very obvious. If the Fincher film gets in, and I got to pop it up. What the hell's the name of the Fincher film? Here's the thing about the Fincher film. It's not done, okay? I mean, it's done, but it's not done in post and all that. And it's not finished, okay? And a lot of these films are largely finished. I feel like that film might not get there in time. Let's go through it. I got to figure out which one it is. Hold on, let me go to directors. It's the something. I'm drawing a blank on the name of the new Fincher film, The Killer. The Killer. So The Killer, I've got the triangle next to you. The triangle basically means may not make it. We don't know for sure if The Killer is going to be in or out. It's one of those that we might find out last minute, like we did last year with the Tender Bar. Tender Bar was like a last minute, like, oh, by the way, we're going to throw that in there. Didn't do anything, really, except for, Affleck at Globes, and I don't know where else, but Affleck was good in the film. The film's not great. You go through here and you look at Wes Anderson, Asteroid City. Anything Wes Anderson cinematography, it's going to be there, okay? Color Purple will absolutely be in the mix. Avatar, Babylon. Let's go through it. Let's see what else we have here. Bones and All could be. I mean, I think that's probably lesser. Maverick is absolutely in contention. Poor Things, Yorgos' new film, absolutely that'll be there because we know how he likes to shoot with fisheye and all that cool stuff. Sam Mendes, Empire of Light. You've got a bunch of stuff. I mean, even Jordan Peele and Nope. I mean, I'm not saying that that's a contender for cinematography like hardcore, but you just never know. I would even say Ty West X. I mean, I love X. Come on. X is a great film. So is it a cinematography thing? I understand, but I'm just saying my point is when you look at a film, you're trying to identify what it does well, okay? And certain films do certain things exceptionally well, and you need to identify that maybe it's cinematography, maybe it's editing, maybe it's direction, maybe it's score. It could all be in one film, like The Social Network. Everything is in that film. Every possible tech and screenplay thing that you're in performance that you're looking for is in The Social Network. So you're looking at every nomination at that point. Anything that should be in the mix for everything. Conversely, there are lots of films that are not that way. That are just like one or two things, right? They just like here, they fit here, they fit here, they fit here. You have to identify how they fit, okay? Like Cold War. Cold War's it's cinematography. Cold War is a film that you better have for cinematography, and they did. So you got to get that right. Jay, good evening to you. Finally watched The Batman this weekend. Direction and cinematography, so strong. The film itself underwhelmed for me. I would agree. The screenplay has, especially that third act, I was not in love with it, and I think that the ending, it's too long. It should be a tighter film. And absolutely correct. It's way too long. I agree with you. Mafia angle. There's part of that does. The screenplay is definitely the weakest part of the film. I'm not saying it's a bad screenplay. I'm saying it could have been better. So I think that's the weakest part. That's why it's not going to be a Best Picture. Batman's not a Best Picture. Okay, it's not happening. That's a 0% chance. And Reeves will not get a director nom, obviously. Come on. We know that's not going to happen. Cold War should have won. I agree with that, Simone. I mean, Cold War is better than Roma, but that was the year that Roma almost won Best Picture, so that was never going to happen. It's kind of like Parasite when it won. By the way, that same year, 2018, you go back, you had Roma, you had Cold War, and you had Shoplifters. If you've never, this is your homework tonight. I'll try to think of a movie and say you need to go watch. A lot of you probably have not watched the film Shoplifter, Japanese film. Koreeda directed it. He has a new one that's just at Cannes here. It's in contention for the Palm, and I can't wait to see the film. But Shoplifters is really, oh my god! I mean, it's something that you need to watch. Okay, it has a lot of threads that feel similar to Parasite, and it predates it. I mean, it was the year before, but you need to absolutely watch that film. It's great. Shoplifters is fantastic. Gingy, I want to know your thoughts on Marvel and Star Wars. Oh, please don't get me started. I was just going on direct messages with a significant film person on Twitter saying that they have watched the new Obi-Wan show and they were not happy with it and they don't even want to talk about it. And it's kind of where I'm at. I mean, listen, it's all about films for me. So unfortunately, if I talked about Marvel and Star Wars 24/7, I think we'd light the place up. But the point is that's not where my head is. So it's hard. I just don't watch the shows. I do enjoy both. I just don't get fully into all the Disney Plus stuff. So, but thank you for the question, Gingy. Appreciate it. Superhero movies. The first carrier scene plus the Mach 10 scene, so strong. The tone perfectly, absolutely perfect entry, and that first scene is amazing. Cold War, exactly. I knew you knew it, Simone. I knew it. I'm going to watch this thing 3 more times. Oh, who wouldn't? I mean, it's so great. Moonlight or La La Land, what movie should have won Best Picture? It's a very good question. It's a hard one. Listen, here's what I love about La La Land. And I think La La Land, a lot of people do not like. And let me tell you why they don't like it. Because they don't like the ending. They don't like the ending that's down. They don't like the girl doesn't get the guy doesn't get the girl. They don't like that. Whereas I love an ending like that. Just like I mentioned earlier in the stream, Up in the Air. The same reason I love that film is that it doesn't all wrap up nicely with a bow. And I think that's the strength of La La Land. I don't think the songs are particularly great. I don't. I think that the songs from The Greatest Showman are better than the songs in La La Land. There's not even a comparison. And I know that they both, Pasek and the two that wrote the stuff, the Greatest Showman songs are better. No question about it. That's not even controversial, honestly. I would say that for me, it'd be close. For the ending alone, I would say La La Land for the choice. For the choice that Chazelle does for La La Land, I'm going to go there. But it's close between Moonlight and La La Land. FYC screener. Shape of Water. I am not. Listen, I'm glad you brought up Shape of Water. It's back there. Moonlight, all of them are back there. Shape of Water is a film that I think is... I'm not a huge Shape of Water fan. I love the direction. I love the production design, cinematography. I love everything that Del Toro does. I do not like the screenplay of the Shape of Water. I think it gets too far out there. I think if it's reined in and it's a little more fairy tale-ish, not dark fairy tale, but a little more straight up, but it's Del Toro. I mean, what are you're expecting that. That said, I'm not the biggest Shape of Water fan. I don't say I dislike the film. I just am not nearly as high. It should not have been a sweep film. No way. Even with the A-list, should I see Crimes of the Future? There's the question of the night right there. You have A-list. You get 3 movies per week. Should you watch Crimes of the Future? No. Nope. No, you shouldn't. You shouldn't watch Crimes of the Future. Honestly. Okay, the tweet's coming out tomorrow. Let me ask you this. Do you want to go see a film that culminates in the third act I'm going to lose all the viewers right now, so I'm looking forward as soon as I say this. But it's what happens at the end of the movie. An autopsy of an 8-year-old boy. Do you want to watch that? Does that sound like a fun night at the movies for you? To go watch that? That's the conclusion. I'm not ruining the movie. I'm not telling you what happens in it, but does that sound... That's why I can't recommend the film. It's just for literally almost nobody. I think it's less accessible than Men, and you know how I feel about Men. So no, I can't even say for free. And I even like Cronenberg. It's not good Cronenberg. It's forgettable Cronenberg. It's just a bad film. It's a flat film. Very flat. Nick, I want to say it's awesome you do your YouTube channel. Thank you, sir. Really appreciate it, Nick, and interact with you guys. I love it. You know, it's what it's all about. Yeah, isn't it? It is nice to put a face to. You see a lot of people that don't get on there, or you know, the other half of this is we do it live. You know, it's live on Sunday, Tuesday, Thursday. At the end of the day, I mean, I could put a whole bunch of stuff up there. It's edited, and we cut out this and that and make it look perfect. At the end of the day, I'd rather just get on here and shoot the shit. And, you know, it's just I enjoy doing it more. So I appreciate you guys watching, and thank you for that, Nick. Really, really appreciate it. Crimes of the Future have shocking body horror. I wouldn't even say it's shocking. That's the weird thing. I mean, it has body horror, but I wouldn't say there was ever a moment in the film that I go, oh, I don't want to. I got to walk out. Like you heard about people at Cannes walking out. I don't think so. I don't see it. I mean, I was kind of, again, it's flat. It's boring. I just in the autopsy, and it's just the autopsy scene is probably the one that just makes you go, why are we watching this? This isn't something I want to watch. Right? It's going to appeal to nobody. So be ready. The car singing scene, everybody wants some. Yes, it is. And they're singing Rapper's Delight, right? I believe. Glenn Powell, everybody wants some. If you've watched it, if you've taken the time to go watch the film, you now know why Paramount put him in Top Gun Maverick, because they watched their own film. Everybody wants some and go, this kid, put him in a movie. Let's go. Do you think Northman was acclaimed because of Eggers? Yes, I do, 100%. If another director like David Ayer made the same film, yes, 100%. I think that's a major problem. I'm so glad. This is a whole... You know what? I'm going to table that and bring that up again. I want to do a whole thing about that, because that is major, major problem with a lot of people in film Twitter. Just because a director has made a good film before that you like does not mean that every film they make in perpetuity is great. It doesn't work that way, okay? Every film is a new chance to review the work and look at it and say, is it better or worse than what we saw before? I 100% agree with that take. Absolutely. And we're going to wrap it up here right after this, guys. Thank you again. Like, subscribe, all that stuff. And we'll do it again on Thursday, where we will be discussing... this weekend's really slim. I mean, the box office is going to be down to Crimes of the Future, the new film. And I don't even know what else. Dash Cam is a very small horror film that actually looks kind of cool. And then you've got Top Gun Maverick weekend, too. I'm going to go to see Dominion next Monday. Monday night, we'll be doing a special Midnight Movie Talk talking about Jurassic World Dominion social media reviewing. Reviewing the social media reviews. I can't wait. That'll be fun next Monday. And we'll wrap with this. The ending of La La Land is perfect. It's heartbreaking, and that's exactly why it is perfect. I couldn't agree more with you, Gone Girl. Way to put it. That's going to do it tonight. Thanks for watching Midnight Movie Talk. We'll do it again on Thursday night. Again, like, subscribe, and thank you. Enjoy the rest of your Tuesday.